Hello, welcome back everybody. Let's have a look at some of these coins then, shall we? And I've brought my little baby daughter here. She's going to have a look at it today as well because, well, she has no choice. It's the only way I can get this done is if I bring her with me. So you're going to be a good girl. Let's have a look at some of these things first. We're going to look at the Dixie, so the dollar, alright? So if you looked at my last couple of videos, you'll know that I've been talking about the dollar bouncing. If the dollar bounces, then everything goes down. So what we're doing is we're really keeping a close eye whether this is going to go up or down. We really don't know if it's going to do it at the moment. There was quite a hefty rejection from the top of this Bollinger Band, but it's as it stands at the moment, you know, regardless of this rejection, it still kind of looks as though there is a higher low forming, which means that there could be an uptrend. Now the chart in itself is a bearish chart, there's no question about it, but we are coming up to a point where we might find decent support and a reversal. So we look at here on the weekly, we see that if we go back in history over the last few years, this lower level that we're at right now has found significant bounces in the past. So we've come down dramatically now. Is it time to break down even further? If we do, then it could happen, and it has happened in the past, clearly. But if we bounce from here, it would tie into sort of what's done historically from these levels. So that's nice and boring for you. We don't look at this to look at the price of the dollar, do we? Let's have a look at, before we go any further on this, we're going to have a look at Bitcoin dominance. Dominance actually finding a bit of a rejection here, and again another bearish chart here on the daily, isn't it? It's definitely a bearish chart. We've got death crosses, divergences. The only one thing that we've got going for us was that MACD that I've just closed, and I'm not going to try and bring it back up. So what does this mean for Bitcoin? Bitcoin, like I said on my channel yesterday and on my Twitter, if you don't follow me, you should try and follow me, because a lot of the time, if you're on my Telegram or Twitter, I do post out, you know, things more frequently than I would do a video. But I was saying that we're topped out, so it would appear that we have topped out at this level at the moment, and we've been rejected at the moment, and we're coming back down. I think this is coinciding with everything else that I've been saying about the dollar. If you look at S&P 500 and the Nasdaq, they're all coming down. Even oil is coming down, even though it had a really big rally yesterday. I took a short on oil, so the oil's going down as well at the moment, and I think it's going to continue if the dollar keeps bouncing, or actually does do a significant bounce. So Bitcoin wants to come back down to test these ranges of around about 10,600, I would probably say, before we find support on that level. Maybe even just a bit above there on this 10 exponential moving average. This doesn't look like too much of a bearish chart, but you know, when you reach a local top, they don't often look like bearish charts. You've got to try and read into the future, I suppose. Look at all the other precursors as to what's going on to see if you can actually catch that top. It's not ever really something I like to try and do. It's like catching knives, apart from your catching knives that are being thrown up, you know. So it's a difficult one to say, but at the moment I'm going with the theory that the dollar is going to bounce and everything's going to come down as a result of that. But yeah, 10,600, 10,700, perhaps that is 10,650, I'd say, would be a support for us at the moment. Breaking down from there, we'll come back down to these lower levels, and we might even fill that CME gap in full. It's in its entirety. Now, also on my video yesterday, I was talking about XRP and how XRP looks reasonably strong, and to an extent it was. We came back down to test the 200 exponential moving average yesterday, and a really big bounce from there, and that followed on all the way up to the green 50 exponential. So this is the ultimate trading area, these two. Reclaiming a green 50 is always going to be bullish for long-term momentum. We're above the 10 simple exponential moving average as well at the moment on the daily, which is good. So, you know, I like to stick up for XRP. I've always been one for an underdog, and I know that technically it's not an underdog because it's one of the biggest market caps out there, but it's a massive underperformer. But if you watch my video on the market cycle, you'll understand why I actually quite like it. I'm not liking it generally across the board for its, you know, it's not. I mean, it's a tradable asset. It respects supports and resistances really well, which makes it relatively easy to trade. A lot easier to trade margin trades on something like XRP than it would be on Ethereum. I'll probably say second best margin tradable asset out there, other than Bitcoin. But you know, it's still an underperformer. What's the point in having all these XRPs if they're not going to go anywhere? So I would suggest watch that market cycle video. It puts it into perspective. But in a nutshell, I'm not expecting any big moves until about May next year, and then we'll start to really see this thing come to life. And I don't think I'll be margin trading it at that point. I think I'll be getting ready to cash it out. because there'll be some serious moves getting made. Anyway, you've got to watch that video, please. Watch that video. You've seen that, haven't you, eh? You've seen that video. You liked it. So what we're doing from here, I think we're still going to come down. I think everything's going to come down. I think XRP is going to come back down to test this 200 exponential. Now the big problem would be is if we break down from the 200 exponential, there's nothing really below us to catch us. I'm giving it values of around about 20 cent, to be honest with you. A nice round figure. It also coincides with where we were being launched from around here. So between 20.5 cent and 19.5 cent. That's where I would be looking to maybe buy this back up again. But if the dollar significantly bounces and the Nasdaq and the S&P, oil, gold, silver, everything, Bitcoin, good contribution. It all comes down. It all comes down, and that basically means that this will come down through default. But don't worry. Like I say, I stress you watch that 4-year cycle video and understand what the big picture is for XRP. There's no point in being a daily moon boy on something like XRP when the cycle says that nothing's going to happen until next year. There's just no point. I see lots of people on YouTube doing that, and yes, it does get views, and obviously they're making money from those views. But it's very tiring and tedious. And realistically, all you really need to do is get your head around that cycle, and you don't need to tune in again for another 6 months really before things start getting interesting. 6 to 8 months, things will start getting interesting. Until then, you know, feel free to try and stack some more XRP, whether you're buying it, accumulating it, trading it. You know, it's all going to be worth it in the end. The all-time high will be exceeded, even if it's only just by a little bit. It will be exceeded, and that is a decent move from where we are at right now. Anyway, I'm going to leave it with you there. Thank you for watching, and we're going to say goodbye, aren't we? Say bye. Give them a wave. Bye. Take it easy. Thanks for watching.